Breaking down the Vikings from the perspective of a former NFL General Manager of the Year. It's Jeff Diamond's Purple Report. Presented by your select Minnesota Buick GMC dealers.
Welcome to Jeff Diamond's Purple Report, brought to you every Monday and Thursday, occasionally Tuesdays like today, because there's a Monday night game. And brought to you during the Viking season by your select Minnesota Buick GMC dealers in the 2024 GMC Sierra on 1500 ESPN, available 24/7 on YouTube via links from the 1500 ESPN and Score North websites. I'm Jeff Diamond, former Vikings GM, former Tennessee Titans president. Our producer is AJ Fredrickson, Ross Brendel, but our man on the scene is Sam Bird today. And Sam does a great job putting our show together, getting us on the air. And Sam, last night, a little bit of a ho-hummer, shall we say?
Yeah.
I thought the Vikings could have blown them out, perhaps, if a couple of things have gone their way. For example, if Sam Darnold had been a little more accurate on some of his throws, if Justin Jefferson had not dropped a surefire touchdown pass at the goal line
that cost
him a 100-yard game. But all in all, if you win by 18 points against a division rival, I don't care how it happens, that's a good win.
Yes. Yeah, I think there was a lot of pageantry around this game. It was the first time they did the winter whiteout deal. It was they had obviously the tribute to Randy Moss, which we'll discuss a little bit. Joe Mauer was there, sounded the Gallagher. There was just a lot going on. And on top of that, there's a big football game. At this point, the Vikings had already clinched a playoff berth, so now they're really trying to gun for even higher aspirations at this point.
Yeah, definitely true. And certainly having already clinched the playoff spot, courtesy of all teams, the Green Bay Packers, your arch rival, wins in Seattle, knocks Geno Smith out of that game. Supposedly Geno Smith is going to be okay to play against the Vikings on Sunday. We'll see. We may know more about that on our Thursday night show. But definitely, I think in that situation, it's really not such a, shall we say, letdown game after you've already clinched the playoffs out, because the Vikings knew they were going to be in the playoffs. There was no doubt about that for the last 3-4 weeks that they were cruising along. So the goal all along had been go 1-0 this week, as the coach says, get the win over the Bears, get a season sweep over them, an important division win that takes their division record to 3-1 now, with, of course, the 2 remaining games against Green Bay and Detroit after the Seattle game. The Vikings are in quite an interesting situation right now. 12-2, tied for the best record in the NFC, tied with the Lions for first in the NFC North after the Lions dropped that game to the Bills. Very exciting game, but Detroit lost a whole bunch more players in that game.
Yes.
David Montgomery, their excellent running back, 3 good players on defense, Aleem McNeil, who's their best defensive lineman with Aiden Hutchinson out. They lost Carlton Davis, who's their best corner. And they lost Dorsey, who's a reserve corner, but playing a lot. They've already been down Hutchinson. They've already been down Anzalone. So the Lions are, I think, in big trouble. Now, if they outscore everybody, you scored 40-some points a game down the stretch and in the playoffs, it may not matter. But, hey, it gets a little tougher. Teams' defenses are going to get better, and Buffalo defense is a little shaky. We saw they gave up 44 to the Rams and 42 to the Lions. But for the Vikings in this situation, the great thing is they control their own destiny, which translates to you win your last 3 games, you're going to win the NFC North. And you may well be the number 1 seed, depending on what happens with Philadelphia and how all the tiebreakers play out. But regardless, if you're at worst the number 2 seed, you could have potentially 2 home games, maybe 3, and get that number 1 seed, and then, hey, you get the week off beside. They're in a good situation. It was still a game they had to win over the Bears. They did what they had to do, and it was a game the defense really showed up, made the big plays. Jonathan Grenard's big sack, the strip sack of Caleb Williams. I thought both Williams and Sam Darnold were pretty shaky in this game, honestly. Darnold very inaccurate on a lot of occasions. Then he would get hot at times and make some great throws, such as the touchdown pass to Jefferson, such as the one that should have been a touchdown pass to Jefferson, the long pass to Addison that drew the pass interference call, and that great tight window throw to Jefferson that set up a touchdown to Aaron Jones. We're going to see that on the highlights too. But let's go to our highlights. And courtesy of ABC and Joe Buck and Troy Aikman on the call, national TV audience tuned in. They might have got a little bit of a nap on occasion during this game as the Vikings kind of floated along that first half, had a chance to blow it open, couldn't quite do it. The Bears hung around. To their credit, their defense played pretty well, and especially when Brian O'Neill went out with his injury, they put a lot of pressure on Darnold. So part of that inaccuracy for Darnold, I'll attribute to the issues with the offensive line and protection. Darnold was sacked twice, was hit 8 times in the game. I think one of the disappointments for me looking at this game is that the Vikings only sacked Caleb Williams twice, but they had him on the run all game, and he's scrambling around, not very accurate with his passing to his receivers because he's throwing on the run a lot. And so I think in that case, the defense still had a big effect, and they directly contributed to 13 points in the first half with big plays. They made a couple of fourth down stops, and we're going to start by looking at that first fourth down stop. And this is Jerry Tillery and Jonathan Grenard combining to stop DeAndre Swift on the Bears' opening drive.
Cross to Swift. He did not get it.
That's just a great defensive play. It looked like he was for sure going to make that first down. And at that point, they're in Vikings territory. That led to a field goal by Will Reichard. And Will Reichard, perfect day, 6 for 6, 3 for 3 on field goals, 3 for 3 on extra points. Looks like he's back in the groove after having his little time off on injury reserve with that quad injury. Had that bank off the post last week, but now I think he's back, kicked off really well. And this was a 52-yard field goal. It was an important field goal because the Vikings were stopped on this drive, on their opening drive.
The rookie Will Reichard will try from 52. And hit.
So the Vikings take that early lead. Later in the first quarter, Jonathan Grenard, as we mentioned, beats the rookie left tackle, Amagaji, I think is how they pronounce his name, on a strip sack. Kind of amazing they didn't give this rookie help against one of the NFL's leading sackers in Grenard, who got his 11th sack on this play.
Look at all the defenders up by the line of scrimmage. Williams is hit, and the ball is out. Picked up by Cashman. Knocked down at the 39.
So the strip sack, forced fumble, Blake Cashman returns it. Just a huge game. I thought this was the biggest defensive play in the game. Set the Vikings up. A couple plays later, after a couple of runs by Aaron Jones, really set this play up. And Kevin Byard bites on a play fake. Justin Jefferson on the touchdown pass from Sam Darnold.
We're really good down here in the red zone, limiting the touchdowns of Minnesota. This will be key again tonight.
Play action from Darnold. End zone. Touchdown, Jefferson.
And you hear that shout out from Justin Jefferson to Randy Moss in his battle with cancer. I thought it was a really cool moment before the game when Chris Carter and Jake Reed, who obviously the part of that great trio with Randy back in 1998, my last year with the Vikings, the 15-1 season, and Moss's rookie year, and Randy, Chris and Jake come out for the coin toss carrying Randy's number 84 purple jersey. That was a really special moment, and I think it was very touching to the crowd, touching to the players, including Justin Jefferson, who talked about it later. But a big night for the Vikings, and a special tribute to Randy Moss, the Hall of Fame player. And nice to see Randy acknowledged it and saw Justin's tribute and talked about it on Twitter. So yeah, good things happened in that situation for sure.
And, Randy's, there's been a ton of coverage on Randy Moss's story and his progress. We have kind of broached it. We've talked about it off the air, but based on the format of the show we do, Jeff, we just don't have time to really dive into it. And we wouldn't be doing Randy Moss justice by just kind of mentioning it and then putting it off to the side. So there's plenty of other opportunities, including Score North and Garage Logic, all of our great partner sites to find more coverage on Randy's story and his progress.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously we wish him the best. I have a long-time friendship with Randy. I signed him to his rookie contract. Saw him many times over the years when we played, whether it was when I was with the Titans, we played the Vikings, and just staying in touch with him. Congratulated him on his Hall of Fame induction a few years ago. So definitely all thoughts and prayers with Randy Moss and his recovery. The Vikings, at this point, after the Jefferson touchdown, are up 10-0 in the game. And then we move to the third quarter. Sam Darnold, the Vikings have kind of, shall we say, treaded water for about a quarter or so, kind of hanging on to the lead, and the Bears were hanging around. You get a little nervous in that situation.
Yep.
When you allow a team to hang around, which the Vikings did until they started to put it away. And here was a big play. Third quarter, 2:11 left in the third quarter, 2nd and 11, and I thought Darnold made his best throw of the night, and wow, was this a great throw in a tight window to Jefferson for 17 yards.
In Sunday NFL Countdown, 2nd and 11 over the middle. Jefferson down to the 1. Strong catch in traffic.
Yeah, there are only 4 guys around him there.
Right, no kidding.
Those are the kind of plays you worry about. The ball gets deflected and then someone picks it off. But Justin held on, made a great catch, and the Vikings, that set him up for this touchdown run by Aaron Jones.
Jones gets him in. Touchdown, Minnesota.
Great blocks on that play by Brian O'Neill, who battled through a knee injury that looked a little dangerous when it happened. You had to worry. It looked very similar to Darrisaw's injury at first. He kind of got rolled up on the back of his leg, but fortunately he was able to get it taped and braced and came back in the game, and looks like he'll be okay for this week. The Vikings will certainly monitor that situation. He's a really important player, having an excellent season for the team, a Pro Bowl caliber season, and they've got to have him in that lineup come these last 3 games into the postseason. He's an essential player, especially after the Darrisaw injury. But the Vikings at that point, that was their best drive of the night.
Yeah.
And 12 plays, 70 yards.
One thing for you, Jeff, did you catch what Aaron Jones is calling his version of the Lambeau Leap for the Vikings?
Yeah, the bank vault, right?
The bank vault, that's right. That was pretty awesome to see that. That was a lot of fun.
That's a bigger jump than I think in Lambeau. But
that's right. Yes, it is.
But he made it. And so the Vikings are starting to cruise. They stop the Bears and get the ball back and have another good drive and a pair of 70-yard drives. Big play on this drive was the pass interference call that Jordan Addison drew, and he had another good game, 7 catches, 63 yards. Jefferson, 7 for 73. Those guys are just really playing great at this point, and Hockenson contributed a number of third-down catches. And here's Cam Akers, who, wow, what a very under-the-radar pickup that was for – you swap a 6th-round pick for a 7th-round pick, and you get this guy as your number 2 back, and here's a great effort on a touchdown run.
Here's Akers driving for the touchdown.
Nice job by C.J. Ham to pull him into the end zone.
Really underrated play, but man, that's such a hard touchdown to get. In the NFL, and kudos to Cam Akers for just muscling that one in there.
Right, and the Bears are a really good team in red zone defense too. So that was impressive, and that basically sealed the deal. And especially after on the next series, Dallas Turner put a great speed rush on the Bears' number 1 pick from last year, Darnell Wright. Here's a great play by the Vikings' 1st-round pick, and signs of things to come, I think.
Which is the first step for any organization to be able to compete within the division.
3rd down and 3. Williams sacked.
just a great athletic speed move and showed his strength, quickness. As I said, I've really been feeling like Dallas Turner's going to have a bigger impact on this team as the year goes on, even though he's a rookie and they hit the rookie wall and all that. By this time, I think they've surpassed it, and he has. And I think he could be a big-time player come playoff time for the Vikings as that kind of rotational edge rusher along with Grenard and Van Ginkel. Ward has done a nice job, Pat Jones. The Vikings are just loaded up front. And that's a good thing come playoff time when they're going to run in some good quarterbacks. You think about guys like perhaps Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts. There are plenty of guys. And Geno Smith, who they're going to face this week, has had a kind of an up and down season. He's throwing 13 picks, but he's also thrown 14 touchdown passes. He's third in the league in passing yards. And they've got some really good receivers, dangerous receivers, Metcalf and Jigba. They're going to be tough to handle. Mm-hmm. Good running game. Seattle's a quality team, and they're in the fight with the Rams at the top of the NFC West. So a crucial game for them, and I think a crucial game for the Vikings to get this win and set up those final two games against the Packers and the Lions. Before we hear from the coach and some of the players, let's hear from our great sponsor, the Select Minnesota Buick GMC dealers. There are trucks, and there's the truck, GMC Sierra, with available features like the V8 engine, the ultimate luxury interior, and, of course, the available world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra, not just any truck, the truck. GMC's continued commitment to professional-grade engineering is on full display at your Select Minnesota GMC dealers. Stop by and choose from our wide selection of colors, models, and trim levels. Our friendly sales professionals are ready to work with you so you drive home happy with not just any deal, the deal. So come take a test drive today. We are professional-grade GMC. Well-qualified buyers get 0% APR on 2024 GMC Sierra light-duty models. See your Select Minnesota GMC dealers today. Length of contract limited. Some customers will not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 1/2/25. Kevin O'Connell in the locker room after the win.
Special football team in here, but we got to go earn everything that's out in front of us right now. And we are gifted absolutely nothing. We're going to have to grind, going on the road for 2 out of our last 3, including a short week this week. Can we be a championship team? All right, when it's not ideal terms, I believe we can. We've proved it already. All right, a lot of championship football out in front of this team, but we got to go earn it. All right, because I love watching you guys win football games. Make sure you guys enjoy this. Enjoy every second of this journey because it's special, and where we're going is special. Love you guys, man. Love you absolutely.
Great job tonight, boys. Short week. Take care of the bodies. Let's get it done next week. Vikes on 3. 1, 2, 3. Vikes!
As we said, Vikings defense dominant in this game. Shut out the Bears in the first half. Forced a turnover. Also the 2 fourth down stops. We certainly know that the Vikings situation really in a good place. The fans had a big impact on the game, which O'Connell did talk about with the whiteout night, which was kind of cool.
It was awesome.
It was kind of cool, but obviously I think the Moss tributes were even more special in this game. The Vikings' run defense a little better than they were against Atlanta and Arizona. They gave up still 113 yards to this Bears team. Seattle can run it reasonably well. They're not a great running team, but the Packers in week 17, they're 4th in the league in rushing. So that run defense, and I think when Ivan Pace returns for that Packer game, and he's on track according to O'Connell, that'll definitely help the run defense. Turnovers were even this game. Penalties, disappointing for the Vikings. Had 10 penalties in this game for 56 yards. Cam Robinson, whoa. Yeah. An ugly night for Cam. He had 4 pre-snap penalties, 3 false starts at home. Come on, Cam. And also had a lining up too deep in the backfield. Got beat bad on a tackle for loss. Cam has played really well. Let's say that first of all, since he was acquired in the trade. But he's going to have to step it up in these next 3 games and on into the postseason. Jordan Addison continued his excellent recent play. As I said, Hawkinson, big plays. A little bit sloppy on both sides. The Bears even had more penalties, the 10 for 93 yards, or 9 for 93 yards by the Bears. And Will Reichard kicking really well in the game. O'Connell, in his post-game press conference, talking about the team and where they stand right now.
Yeah, I think that's what's been so special about this team this year is what I want them to focus on is recovering after this game and getting ready to go on a short week to go play a really good team in a really tough home environment in Seattle. Whatever's right in front of us is what we're attacking. I think that's how you get to this point in the season. You win different ways. They're not always pretty. To look up and win this football game 30-12 it kind of felt grimy at times tonight, just with their ability to make some plays defensively, and then with our penalties and things like that. So there's a lot to clean up, which as a coach that's of a 12-2 football team, you love that because there's a lot of things to go back to work on. There's a lot of things I can improve on, and we're going to continue to just try to get better.
Justin Jefferson, as we said, a little bit of an up and down night for Jets, JJ, whatever you want to call him these days. But Justin talking post-game about the Randy Moss tribute.
I mean, every game is a plan to get in the end zone. I definitely wanted to, give a tribute to him on one of my touchdowns. It was just great to have it done in the first quarter and the first one. So definitely got to show that love to him. Grateful for what he has done for this game and what he has done for me as a kid. Just watching him and being a fan of him, always got to show love towards him.
Brian O'Neill, we talked about, I thought a really gutty performance by him. Team captain, gets hurt, gets himself taped up, braced up, comes in and out of the game, and the Vikings needed him, and he made a lot of big run blocks for Aaron Jones and pass protecting for Darnold. When he was out, you could definitely sense the pressure was definitely ticked up, shall we say. And Brian O'Neill talked after the game about the injury and where he is right now.
Pretty good. It's probably gonna be sore, but everything checked out okay. Structurally good, so be ready to roll. I don't think it's gonna be anything. So
as soon as they tell you it's structurally fine, no doubts of going back in.
Yeah. I mean, it's Monday Night Football against the Bears. We got to win, and if they tell me you're good to go and it's pain, I'll go till they pull me out or I can't.
Why weren't you there starting the third quarter?
They put about 7 pounds of tape on this thing. I was like yelling at them to hurry up in the training room. So they were radioing in saying, "Hey, we're still taping them up and getting the brace on." I had to take off the cleat and the tape and retape and do all this stuff and back to the college knee braces.
You know what I love about that, Jeff, is that interview sounds like such an old school football kind of thing. Like the only thing that's missing is them waving the smelling salts at him and get back out there.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
right.
He's a tough customer, and as we said, having a great year for the Vikings offensive line, and just have to keep him healthy down the stretch for sure. And I'm sure they'll be working with him this week to rehab that knee injury. Before we hear from Jonathan Grenard, here's our great sponsor, the Select Minnesota Buick GMC dealers.
There are trucks, then there's the truck, GMC Sierra, with available features like the V8 engine, the ultimate luxury interior, and of course, the available world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra, not just any truck, the truck. GMC's continued commitment to professional-grade engineering is on full display at your local GMC dealer. Come take a test drive today and see for yourself. We are professional-grade. GMC. Well-qualified buyers get 0% APR for 36 months on GMC Sierra light-duty models. See your local GMC dealer today. Monthly payment is $28.16 for every $1,000 you finance. Average example down payment 15%. Some customers will not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 12/2/24.
Jonathan Grenard, I think is what a great free agent signing he was. He's got 11 sacks. He ranks tied for 5th in the league. Danielle Hunter's having a great year in Houston too, which happy to see him doing well. But certainly Grenard, 4 years younger. I'll take that trade any day, looking at how he's playing and with Danielle's injury history, the concern there, as he's now 30 years old. And not that it was a trade, but it was kind of was, because each team signed the other one as a free agent. But Grenard having a great season. He's made impact plays, and especially it seems against the Bears. The first Bear game, he made the big sack in overtime that got the Vikings the ball back, went down and scored. And then this game, his strip sack early in the game set up the touchdown, got the Vikings a 10-point lead. And here's Jonathan Grenard talking post-game.
I've never won. This is most wins I've had in my career, so it's a great feeling. Obviously, we're just understanding that this is not it. I mean, we're going to, because, it's a great feeling to take care of business every time you get an opportunity, but we all understand what we're still chasing after, but we're not going to look too far. We're just going to continue to just look at it week by week, 1-0 mentality. Now we know we just got Seattle coming up, so that's our main focus right now.
Are we hoping that Cashman will be able to find a way to score?
Yeah, I'm gonna be on him all week for that one. But yeah, man, I haven't seen Cash get laid out like that. Yeah, he used to laying people out, so I got to get on him by not finishing the touchdown and getting laid out like that.
A big play certainly in the game, and both those guys got game balls, by the way, Cashman and Grenard, along with Josh Metellus is going to get a game ball. He had a big impact on the game in run defense, and not so much picked on in pass defense in this game. And O'Neal, I think got a game ball too. And you just talk about the impact, obviously, that Aaron Jones with his running, and just a nice night for the Vikings. Didn't play great on offense. The defense very stout. Got the win. Got their 12th win, 7th win in a row. I think what's interesting about this streak, Sam, is that out of these 7 wins, only one of them was against a team with a winning record, and that was when they played Arizona. That was 6-5 at the time. Mm-hmm. But you got to beat who you face at the time. And now they're going to have a stretch. All 3 games coming up, Seattle, Green Bay, Detroit, all have winning records, and Green Bay, Detroit, very impressive records. So as we kind of look ahead to week 16, back at week 15, as we said, the Lions had that shootout with Buffalo, and Josh Allen, what a player he is, kind of clinched the MVP in that game, a 48-42 win over Detroit, which got the Vikings in the position where they could tie for first place and now control their own destiny. And the Lions losing more players, as we mentioned, Montgomery, McNeil, their best defensive lineman with Hutchinson out, Carlton Davis, their best corner with a fractured jaw. He's not going to be back in 3 weeks for the Vikings for sure. Will he be back for the playoffs? We'll see. They're in big trouble. They've got 18 guys on injury reserve. Detroit's just been decimated with injuries. And then you look around the league and some of the other big games, and Green Bay, as we mentioned, knocked off Seattle in Seattle 30-13. They knocked Geno Smith out of the game. Sam Howell was awful in replacing him. So if Geno Smith starts and the Vikings can get him out of the game and get to Sam Howell, he was terrible. He threw 1 pick, was sacked 4 times in limited duty. Seattle, I think it's a winnable game, but it's a tough place to play, and it's a quality team with a lot on the line. So it'll be an interesting game. I see the Vikings are a really 3-point favorite, which seems to make sense, even though they're going to Seattle, where, by the way, they've lost their last 5 visits. Oh. But that was all in the Russell Wilson era. So we'll kind of put that caveat out there. Philadelphia won their 10th straight, beating Pittsburgh. That was a big game, obviously, for the Eagles. They face the Commanders this week with a chance to clinch the NFC East. Some other big games. Tampa Bay, watch out for the Bucs. Yeah. They're kind of on a roll right now. Baker Mayfield's got it going, Mike Evans and the defense. I'm not sure that's a team that I would want to see the Vikings face in the wild card round, but if the Bucs win that division and they have the worst division record and the Vikings are the first wild card, that they now have a 2-game lead, that could be the case.
And that would be on the road, too.
That would be on the road in Tampa Bay, so that could be a tough one. So a lot of stuff ahead. Big game in Seattle. We're going to break it down on Thursday, only a couple days away. talk about the Seahawks and the Vikings. And this has been Jeff Diamond's Purple Report, brought to you every Monday and Thursday, occasionally Tuesday during the Viking season by your select Minnesota Buick GMC dealers in the 2024 GMC Sierra on 1500 ESPN, available 24/7 on YouTube via links from the 1500 ESPN and Score North websites. This is Jeff Diamond with Sam Bird, and we will talk to you in 48 hours about the Vikings and the Seahawks.